What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're playing Teferi, Hero of Dominaria in Historic Brawl. Probably the most infamous Azorius card in the format, but I'll go over it for people who don't know what this Planeswalker does. So it's 5 mana, 3 generic, Azorius, comes down with 4 loyalty, +1, draw a card. At the beginning of the next end step, untap 2 lands. So we draw a card, we do our turn, and then if we have counter magic or something in our hand, or maybe a removal spell, at our end step we get to untap 2 lands. Usually we're gonna do some combination of white and blue, just so we cover all our bases. But that allows us to not only get a card, but potentially hold up some kind of removal or counter spell every single turn. -3, put target non-land permanent into its owner's library third from the top, so basically tuck a problematic non-land permanent. That could be their Prismatic Bridge, their commander, you know, anything that's causing us problems, we can just tuck it away and deal with it later, maybe counter it on the way back down. And then if we get to the -8, which is not guaranteed, but if we do, it's a haymaker. Not all ultimates are created equal, but this one is brutal. You get an emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent opponent controls. So now the +1 reads, draw a card, exile a permanent your opponent controls, and then at the beginning of the next end step untap 2 lands. If you ever faced this card and had it ultimate on you, it's GG. There's like basically nothing you can do to come back from that, because they bare minimum, you know, you draw a card every turn just automatically, right? So every turn you get to exile a permanent, you know, and then if you draw even more cards with like the magic mirror, you know, let's say you have a couple counters on this, you draw 3 cards, well that's 3 non-land permanents plus the 4th one that just from drawing for turn. So absolutely brutal ultimate if we get to it. I built a Teferi deck recently, Teferi Time Raveler. It's the exact same deck. I didn't change a single card from that build. I just literally swapped this Teferi for this Teferi, right? Put this Teferi in the 99, put this Teferi as the commander. I think the deck worked really well in that video. I don't think we lost a single game. So I thought, well, why don't we just switch it and see if they're pretty much interchangeable commanders, right? This one's obviously 4 mana, this one's 5, so that will change the dynamic a little bit. But otherwise, it's the same concept, which is basically win-con-less control. There isn't a clear win-con in this deck. The win-con is mainly just, can our opponents be patient enough to try to beat us? I guess you can call the ultimate a win-con. That's definitely fair, right? It's just it's unlikely we're going to get to the ultimate, so we can't depend on that. So let me put it this way: there's no dependable win-con. There's nothing we tutor up. There's nothing that just says we win the game. Like, there's no approach of the second sun in this deck. It's just brutal win-con-less control, which is one of my favorite kinds. I mentioned in the other deck, I included cards like Crawling Barrens, because if we get to the point in the late game where we have extra mana and we can put it into something on each of the, you know, our opponent's end step or whatever, we can pump this up. And I've made this card into a 20/20 before and kill people with it. So there's cards like this included in the deck. And then obviously you have like Shark Typhoon, which if we get that down on the enchantment side, we can make a bunch of sharks and win the game that way. So there are ways to win. I don't want it to make it sound like there aren't ways to win. But our main win con is just outlasting our opponents. A lot of people in Historic Brawl are not patient enough to deal with this kind of deck. So they're going to scoop way before we ever get to Shark Typhoon or hit them with our 20/20 Crawling Barrens, right? Or even our -8 ultimate. So let's see if we can get some wins with this deck. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I make a different Historic Brawl video every day. Different other formats too. I just mainly Historic Brawl right now because I like the format so much. I don't find it boring. It's fun to make new builds all the time versus something like Standard. But I am planning on doing the other formats too, including Standard, because I do like playing a little bit of those. Just it's hard to play them every day. But Historic Brawl is kind of fresh, and the single card, or the 100 card singleton format makes it, you know, really unique gameplay experiences. Even if you play the same deck every day of the week, it's going to be very different every time, because you're got 100 different cards in your deck. So yeah, if you like that kind of content, subscribe. If you've been watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. obviously you like my stuff, so helps me out, helps me grow the channel. Channel's been growing quite a bit. I think it was just a couple months ago I had like 50 subscribers. Now I'm close to 400, on my way to 500. So appreciate all the love and support and people coming on back, giving me suggestions for decks to build. Hopefully we get an opponent soon. Now, I will say that this Teferi is definitely in hell queue. The other Teferi, I wasn't 100% sure which queue it would be in. We kind of ended up in like somewhere between hell queue and like A tier, if that makes sense. So we're between S tier and A tier. This is an S tier commander. This is squarely in hell queue. So we're going to play all the other best decks in the format. I wouldn't consider this a S tier deck, but it's a good deck. No doubt about that. They get to go first, which means our land tax gets turned on. So Smeagol wants to mill us out, essentially. Cast out can get their Smeagol, because it is 4 mana, right? 3 mana. Okay. Well, the fact that we get land tax turns on means these spells are good. We can bounce Smeagol too if we really have to. No blue mana is awkward, but white mana for land tax fixes that. So we keep... Land tax is just such a good card. Let's see if I have a funny emoji I can throw back at them. Yeah. Land tax. So I don't like going second. Going second is almost always bad, except for if you have land tax. Going second and having land tax is awesome. Ooh, nice. Didn't even notice we drew counter spell. Take action. I've said this before in other videos, but if this is your first time watching this video, I always take, well, maybe always is too strong, but whenever I get a land tax trigger, I always, with an asterisk, take all 3 lands. And the reason for that is it, 1, obviously puts lands in our hand, but 2, pulls them out of our deck, so now we don't get dead draws. And it's okay if we discard a couple lands, because we were going to get more with land tax. So... it's too bad we don't have double blue down so we could counter Smeagol. I guess we do it like this. And... what? What else? I guess we could do the island because we're going to get more with land tax. Yeah, let's do it like this. These are good lands with our commander, so we don't want to get rid of them. We're going to get more basics, so we can chuck the 2 basics. They're going to get a Lotus Cobra trigger. We'll see if they play a 4 mana spell. I'm assuming they're just going to play their commander. Leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Okay. Oh, we can cycle this. This may be worth cycling. We'll see. Okay, so that makes them... that's really good with their commander, because the ring will tempt them every turn, which means we'll get milled every turn. However, if we keep Smeagol off the battlefield, then it doesn't matter. So, let's resolve it. Pass. We'll take the 2. It's fine. We can counter Smeagol on the way down now, so that's fine with us. Yep. Land tax trigger. Take action. Go grab some more lands. Let's see. I just want to make sure I have a good amount of basics left. Yeah. Once we get low on basics, then I stop taking every single one. Or all 3. You know what I mean. So we're definitely... ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, so we can cycle cast out and cast counterspell. 3 cards. Well... I really don't want to get rid of this, but... it is what it is. Okay, they choose a ring bearer. We're taking 5 this turn, but we're doing it so we can counter Smeagol. They'll have 5 mana here. I mean, they have to know that this is counter magic mana. So they might play a decoy, Guardian Project. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control, card in your graveyard, draw a card. Yeah, so basically every time a creature comes down, they draw a card. Do we care right now? That's the thing. No, we don't care right now because they can't play another creature this turn. So we can Cyclonic Rift their Cobra. If I didn't have this, I'd probably keep it, but I think this is worth bouncing. We take 3. Next turn we can get rid of this or any of these, so I think we just pass through. Take action. Get these basics out of my deck. We need double white for Farewell. That's a good card. Still costs a lot right now, though. There's also an argument for Narset. So our options are we can cast out. We can only do one thing. We can either play Narset or we can hold up Counterspell or we can cast out. Now this has flash speed, so we could just do it like that. But then they get a Guardian Project trigger. We'll gain some life back with Interplanar Beacon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Discard 2 cards. Let's do it like this. They are drawing extra cards with that Call of the Ring. But, right now it's okay. Lotus Cobra. So they're going to play a land and try to play Smeagol. I imagine. Okay. They're playing around the counter magic really well. Smeagol, right? It's gotta be Smeagol. You have exactly Smeagol mana. Okay, they're gonna wait. Draw a card, then discard a card, sure. Farewell is gonna clean all this up. That's why I'm not overreacting to the board. Smeagol. Nazgul. Okay. Since we cannot play Farewell next turn, What do we take next turn? 7? Yeah, let's just get this out of here. I don't want to cast out because when I Farewell, I want to exile enchantments, and if I exile this, whatever I exile with it will come back to the battlefield. So I was gonna get rid of their Guardian Project, but obviously now we're getting low on basics, so I think I'm just gonna take. Actually, let's just take 1. No, we can do another. We can do another 3. But this will probably be our last third. Of course we draw a land. Triple blue for Magic Mirror. Once we get that down, the deck really starts cooking. We can Elspeth's Conquers Death something. So we could get rid of their Guardian Project. And take 7. What might be smarter is to Narset. Have them attack down Narset, then Elspeth's Conquer Death, get Narset back later. Because they're definitely going to want to attack this down, so that kind of counts as like pseudo, you know, we're saving ourselves from damage. Oh, perfect. Now they see the Dovin's Veto as well. Dovin's Veto doesn't get Smeagol. Discard 2 cards. Probably the 2 planes. But if they cast any non-creature spell, we can get them with a Dovin's Veto. But they've been good so far about playing around counter magic. They've obviously played against Blue-Eye Control before, and they're doing a good job. Yeah, see, they have to kill it, right? So we just, instead of taking 7 damage to the face here, we just distracted them with Narset, and we're going to get it back with Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. Can't talk. Narset turns off their card draw, which is why they're trying to get rid of it. So they don't draw a card, but they had to discard a card. That's actually pretty funny. We have no answer. This was part of the plan.
I have reached my limit.
Next turn we can farewell and clean up all this garbage. Sure. We'll choose artifacts too. Don't worry about that. Yep. Get all the stuff. Build that board up. Play all those cards in your hand. So, we're going to exile our own land tax with Farewell, so let's pull out the last of our basics. Okay. Let's get another white source down so we're balanced. We're going to Farewell. Okay, not graveyards, but enchantments, creatures, artifacts. They're tapped out, except for this. But I can't think of anything in Golgari colors that saves them here. I guess they have that. They're gonna float a black and do what? Yeah, nothing. Okay. Discard 2 cards. So let's discard these 2 islands. They can do whatever they want this next turn because I'm tapped out, but we have a million answers for whatever they do on the following turn. Plus Teferi can come down and start drawing us cards and untapping. Elspeth's Conqueror's Death gets Smeagol. So they get our Castle Ardenvale, sure. Magic Mirror is now online as well. Let's get you down. Yeah, I think we... This and Treasure Map? This and Dovin's Veto? They know we have Dovin's Veto, so they can just play around it. It seems like they have nothing but creatures in their deck, huh? Like they're a creature-based deck, so maybe Dovin's Veto isn't good. We have plenty of mana. Is it really that important to get the Signet down? Probably not. Probably better to hold up the counter. Again, once we get Magic Mirror down, it's gonna be a party. Draw, discard. Okay. It's a cool card. I like that card. Okay, we're losing 3 life. Getting low on life. Resolve. Do they have a way to do or to trigger this? No, it doesn't look like they do. Okay. Time warp's a good one. What's that? Oh, that's a good target for this. We can 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Well, yeah, we can. Okay, so we do you and this, and we'll still have mana to time warp. Magic Mirror now costs nothing. We get Narset back. We put a loyalty counter on it, and this is where we turn the corner. So we can Doom Scar. Destroy all their stuff. Narset.
Meditate and prepare.
That's pretty funny. Let's get the swords because we'll have the mana for it next turn, I think. Oh no, we won't because of awkward arena tapping. But that's okay. Get this down. Start drawing a million cards. Get Teferi down. Protect it. I think we're good to go. Timeless Witness gets something back from the graveyard. I wonder what they get. Nazgul, sure.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
This can gain us life. This can wipe the board. Well, board wipes are good. Can we do both? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. We cannot do both. So this is definitely more important. Let's use the colorless. Do it like this. If they eternalize, I wonder if that's something we can counter with this. It's an ability, so we cannot counter it. Okay, so resolve. That's their whole turn. Resolve. Pass. Let's behold. No, we don't really need either of those. We already have card draw. Yes, that's good. Too bad we have all... This is a dead card because we have no basics in the deck. Ristic Study is a card. We could -2 our Narset and get rid of it, but I think the static of them not being able to draw extra cards is more important. We could Teferi here and bounce their token. Gain a life. Since it's a token, it just goes back. It just disappears, essentially. It doesn't go back in their deck. Ristic Study. Ristic Study would leave us 2 mana up. So we wouldn't have Absorb Energy open. Treasure Map. We got it. auto tapper is killing me here. We gotta do it like this. There's an argument for Ristic Study coming down, but we're already drawing so many cards. I'm not worried about that. I think this absorb energy is much more important. Nazgul. Resolve. Ring tempts you. Uh-huh. What else? Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a plus counter on target creature you control. Okay. Sure. I don't really care about that. I don't really care about putting a +1/+1 counter on a creature. The ring tempts you. That's a way to gain life. Makes their creatures come into play tapped. So yeah, I think we keep. Let's Swords the Ring Bearer. Draw a bunch of cards. Oh. Oh baby. It's not the right play right now. This is also good. Okay, so land, white for authority, plus Teferi.
Hurry!
Mental reminder that we can, if they have more creatures. Oh, this is good. This is great. Okay, we gain life. We make some 2/2s. Cast out their Nazgul. Smothering Tithe for mana. Pass the turn. Untap 2 lands. Make a treasure, so we'll have mana for absorb. Oh, they paid. Okay, they paid for the thing. It comes into play tap, we gain a life. The ring tempts you. Then reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal X land cards, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. They control none. Put those lands on... Okay, the ring tempts you. Uh-huh. Sure. They are now empty-handed. We gotta make sure we don't mill ourselves out. Castle Vantress. This is so tempting right now. No max hand size. I just don't want to mill myself out. I'm really actually worried about milling myself out. We have to do this.
Keep up the pace.
We're at that awkward part of the game where, like, we're doing such a good job at our game plan that we actually might mill ourselves. We already played a land. Next. All attack. We could create a 0/4 with this. We could gain protection from everything with this. We could draw an insane amount of cards. I mean, we could remove a creature from attacking or blocking. That's also something we could do. Yeah, I mean, we just gotta We just gotta go for it. Oh, Dream Trawler? Okay. Hold on. We have no max hand size now. We just want to remove their creature. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah. Gain a life.
I know my responsibility.
We're gonna need to Teferi bounce this at some point. The question is, do we need to do that right now? Probably not.
Let's try this.
Untap you. Untap you. Make a treasure. Resolve. Gain life. Cheers. When the creature dies, return to the battlefield under your control. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't really know what you're trying to do, but how about no? Does no sound good? Okay. Well. Dream Trawler is a clock and a half. Especially with our card draw. We just gotta make sure we don't mill ourselves. We can put this... I think we gotta get rid of that. So, let's... bounce this. Yes. Tuck it away.
According to plan.
Take
Let me
action.
know if you're up for round 2. Time is much more malleable than people think.
Plus, we can play our sorceries at
I'll
instant
protect
speed. No max hand size, I guess. Play this again. Maybe try to go for the ultimate.
No time for a break.
Smothering Tithe trigger. We have Wash Away right here if they try to play Smeagol. Okay. Are they returning Nazgul? I don't really care about that. They're gonna attack something? Okay. Sure. They're gonna attack my face? Okay. They can't draw a card here. They're gonna just discard a card. Yeah, we lose 3 life, but we're not worried about our life total. We're worried about our deck. Uh-huh. Do they scoop on the Wash Away? I gotta give it to the opponent. They are fighting this thing down to the last little bit, but I'm sorry. Dream Trawler plus Teferi is it's just absolutely brutal.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah. Can we draw any more cards? Yep, that'll do. Anything else bad? No, I think we just hold up counter magic and go from there. I mean, we got this game locked up. It just... we need to protect our Dream Trawler. Mill 3 cards, return a creature planeswalker card. Sure. It's gonna come into play tapped. I really like that Nazgul. Commander costs how much now? Can't even tell, like 9? Okay, they can't draw a card, they just have to discard the card they just put in their hands. Yeah, pass. Sure. My turn? Okay, well, Brainstorm kind of does it. Again, just making sure we can't mill ourselves here. You don't draw cards. And you don't draw cards, so I guess you can go back. Doesn't really matter. Dream Trawler trigger. Trigger, 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 trigger. Plus Teferi, make it even bigger.
Hurry.
Minus Teferi, make it even bigger.
Might be a bad idea.
We just need to draw one more card. Do we have a way to draw... I mean, I know the answer is yes, but where is it? Where is the way to draw one more? Maze Mind Tome was fine. There we go. Lethal. I didn't even need to draw that extra card. Oh well. GG. Boom. Well, I think swapping the Teferis is having no drawback at all. How long was that game? Was that like a 40-minute game? That's what it felt like. So, blue-white control, just absolutely brutal. The thing that makes blue-white control fun is that you have all the best removal in white, and you have all the best card draw in blue. So, it's really the perfect control color. It's not my favorite control color, but it is probably the best control guild because of just those two factors. White can remove anything, and it's usually exile removal, and it's cheap exile removal, and then blue can draw all the cards you want, put those things together, and you have a great control platform. Opponent goes first. What are they playing? Zombies? Zombie Liliana? Okay. This is a great card to have early in the game. Black, mono black can't really interact with enchantments. They do have a couple pieces of enchantment removal, but they're kind of clunky, so not likely they'll have them in their opener. This is great against them. How much does this cost? 3? We don't have a way to get rid of that right now. So turn 1, turn 2, then turn 3 they play Liliana. and what? Try to get to the -7. That's going to take them 4 turns. We can play the One Ring and draw into stuff. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We don't have an answer for Liliana except for countering it. We'll lead on the temple since it's tapped. Shadow to the Sky. They're probably a zombie deck, so I think the more board wipes we have, the better. We already have the double white, so we can actually cast it. Yeah, zombie deck. Double blue. Let's ramp. We don't have a way to stop their Liliana, so might as well set ourselves up for success.
Those who get in my way tend to regret. Oh, soon you'll be left with nothing.
Yeah, they just plussed. I think with so little board pressure, this is more important. This is gonna lower or it's gonna make spells we cost free. So, you know, 3 turns from now, this is gonna be huge. Right now, it's obviously not affecting the board, but as we get further and further in the game, this thing's gonna allow us to cast a bunch of stuff for free. And I didn't want to cast the Shadow of the Sky on one creature. I'd much rather wipe multiple things. So this is an okay board to wipe because we have another board wipe. We do need to find an answer for this before they get to the minus, which is why I think here we play the One Ring. Because 2 things. 1, it gives us protection from everything, so we won't take any damage from these creatures. 2, it'll allow us to draw into answers for Liliana. And because we have protection from everything and they can't attack us, they're going to be incentivized to play out their hand. You know, from their perspective, they're like, oh, we can't do any damage to them. Well, let's just play out as much stuff as possible and put them under a bunch of pressure. And that'll play right into our board wipes.
Losing? Sorry, I'm not familiar.
I don't know why they're attacking. Maybe they've never encountered the One Ring, but it gives us protection from everything, so we literally can't take damage. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Next turn, so we have 2 turns. Next turn they get to 7. The turn after that they can ultimate. So we have two turns to find an answer. We can Teferi bounce it. I forgot about that. Yeah, okay. So this turn we Shadow the Sky. Resolve. That's fine. Let's foretell Doomscar. Make it cheaper for later. Next turn we can Teferi bounce Liliana. Stop it from ultimating. Once this card ultimates and starts making exponential zombies every turn, it's impossible to win. I mean, maybe we could in this deck because we have so many board wipes, but it's really, you're just going to be uphill, in an uphill battle the whole game. Okay, 3 counters, which means we can cast this for free. But yeah, we definitely Teferi here. We're probably going to lose Teferi.
Right on schedule.
Murderous Rider. Weird. But yeah, sure. Go ahead and use your Murderous Rider. It doesn't change the fact that your Liliana's going to get bounced. The trigger's already on the stack.
Let's take it back.
And if you choose to tuck it in your deck... Okay, so for those who are new to the game and the rules, they had the option. In Commander, if you tuck a card in the deck, you have the option to either put it back in command with the command tax or actually tuck it. If I have a shuffle effect, like I can make them shuffle their deck, their commander will get shuffled randomly into their deck. And it'll basically be gone forever. So that's a huge risk they just took. I'm in blue. I have ways to shuffle their deck. So, or if they crack a fetch land or something like that, they do it on their own. Their commander's going away. So what do we do here? Let's do this on blue. Let's do this for free. Wow. Whiff. Okay. Well, it was free, so we can't be too mad. And let's pass. I guess we can draw with the One Ring. It's not the end of the world. If they play a bunch of stuff out here, we can just destroy it all. Also, if you're new to the game, this Foretold card, it's in exile and it's face down, so the opponent can't actually see this. So if you're wondering, like, why are they playing into a board wipe, it's because they don't know this is a board wipe. Okay, now our absorb energy costs 0. Destroy all non-land permanents. Probably not going to come up in this game, but let's hold on to this because we have a bunch of other lands. Let's start taking basics out of our deck, too. We're going to start needing to find a way to gain life, so I'm tempted to not crack this. Let's just play it like this. Hold up, absorb energy. At the beginning of your end step, exile one target creature card from your graveyard. If you do, seek a creature card with mana value equal to the mana value of that card plus 1. That card. So, yeah. It's an alchemy card. I think it's worth countering. Alchemy cards are either busted or bad. That sounds pretty good. So I'm not going to trigger the One Ring because right now we have Teferi, who is getting discounted by As Foretold. It only costs 2. So let's get Castle down. Let's pay double white for Teferi. Teferi draws cards. So we don't need to continue to take more damage. We're already at 12.
Keep up the pace.
And we have Castle Vantra's Descry. There's no board pressure. Unlikely they have anything with haste. So this is the kind of board that we want. This is the kind of board that we love playing our Planeswalker Commander on. They can either punch Teferi or me. Probably smarter to punch Teferi. If I was lower on life, they could punch me, but that's fine.
No more.
Gotta be careful with that because if I have instant speed removal, I can just kill their land. Yeah? End step, Scry. Birth, Shark Typhoon. Well, Shark Typhoon is good. We can play that and play Birth. Is that good? Eh. It's alright. It's alright. Shark Typhoon is really good, but then we have nothing to pair with, so maybe we One Ring activation and then try to balance it with Teferi later. Shark Typhoon really clogs up the battlefield here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we can crack this Mind Stone. Because with the As Foretold, we're discounting everything we do. So let's get the Shark Typhoon in our hand. Try to draw something else relevant so we don't have to activate the One Ring. The One Ring's a last resort. Cleansing Nova is nice. Grand Tower. Draw a card.
Let's skip to the
We could play
good
Shark
part.
Typhoon for free. I didn't even think about that. Didn't draw anything we want to cast, though. So that is a little awkward. So I think this is what we do. Shark Typhoon for 0. I don't think we're going to want to undo inversion. Okay. They can kill my Teferi next turn. Oh my goodness, they just scoop. Okay, well, let me explain my thought. Teferi was going to die next turn, right? Unless I cast Cleansing Nova, which I think it's just a waste on this one creature. So they power up their Mutavault, they hit me for 3, they hit Teferi for 3, Teferi dies, which is what I wanted. As Foretold is going to be on 7, which means Teferi would only cost 4. So next turn, we activate the One Ring, we draw 3 cards, we play Teferi, we bounce the One Ring to our hand, and maybe we play it to get protection from everything. They cast all their stuff, we Cleansing Nova, wipe the board, and we're sitting with a full grip, protected, or a board, you know, with no creatures, and a Teferi that we can easily defend, keep drawing cards, yada yada yada, blue-white control. But that would have been the line to stop taking damage from this, clear their board. This Mutavault would have been eventually a problem, but I think we would have drawn a Swords to Plowshares or something like that, right? Also, the Shark Typhoon would have given us blockers. So the Mutavault on an empty board obviously is a problem, but once we start making giant sharks, it's not a problem anymore. Anyway, that would have been the plan. They didn't want to sit around and think about it, though. And that's what I was saying in the intro, is that while we're playing to win the game, and we don't care if the game takes 2 hours, most people don't want to sit around and play a 2-hour game. They're like, nah, I'm just going to scoop it up, go to the next game, right? So our main win con in this deck is just patience. Alright, those were 2 pretty long games. I'm not sure how long the video is, but it's probably got to be close to an hour already. So let's just do a deck review. Sorry for only playing 2 games, but I don't want to make the videos too long. I don't feel like making a 2-hour video is going to demonstrate my point any further. Yeah, blue-white control, Teferi. What can I say? I mean, it's just, this is probably the best control commander in the format. You know, maybe there's other kinds, like I know there's like Yorion for, you know, bounce and blink control value things, but if you're just talking like pure control, right? Draw cards, remove things, make the opponent never want to play Magic again. This is the best card in the format. And then we didn't get to the -8. Like I said in the intro, it's not guaranteed or likely that you'll get to the -8. But if you do, it's GG. It's straight up GG. Like, whenever you draw a card, you exile a permanent. I mean, you saw in that first game how many cards we were drawing. Imagine every time we drew one of those cards, like, you know, we drew 10 cards, then 3 more cards. Like, that's exiling all their stuff, including their lands. It doesn't say non-land permanents. It says permanents. So we would make them exile everything. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And again, that doesn't win the game. You know, of course they're going to scoop, but in reality, an opponent could sit there and try to play it out from there, right? That doesn't mean we win the game. So just brutal. Their life total is still what it is, right? Exiling all their stuff doesn't get rid of their life total, but man. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this deck. I think it's, you know, a proven really strong build. This is my personal take on it. I didn't, you know, I build all my own decks, but I, you know, want to reiterate, I didn't copy anyone's deck list for this. I built this from scratch. So if you feel like there's a card missing or whatever, that's totally fine, you know, but I think I've proven that this is an extremely solid build, both in this version and the 4-mana Teferi version. I don't think between these 2 commanders I lost a single game. You'll have to check the other video for that, but I'm pretty sure I won all the games with this, and I won all the games with this. So if you like Control, pick this deck up. Deck list is in the description. If you have a suggestion for Commander you'd like me to play, suggest it down below in the comments. I'm willing to play anything, not just Control, but aggro, mid-range, combo, whatever you want. I like all different kinds of decks. I feel the most comfortable with Control. It's just something that makes sense to my brain, and it's fun for me. I know it's not everyone's thing, so I appreciate you watching the video, even if it wasn't your thing. But if you do have a commander you'd like to see me play, just suggest it. I'm more than likely gonna pick it up and try to make a deck out of it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Like I was saying, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.